Hello, and welcome to the Bison Information Network. I'm Alex Dusky.
And I'm Anna Dragseth.
We have a lot to cover for you guys tonight. You don't want to miss this show.
We will have a local and national news update, a Bison Sports update, a look at your weekly weather, and a feel-good story for you. Don't go away.
In NDSU news, the spring commencement ceremony is just 1 week away. It will take place in the Fargo Dome and will take place in person. As of right now, more than half of the eligible students have indicated that they will walk at the ceremony. It will be split up into two programs. The first will begin at 10 a.m. and the second will begin at 2 p.m.
Jackie Schlucker, the Associate Register, said, quote, "Strong attendance numbers indicate that students are excited about the opportunity to participate in a modified in-person ceremony. We are all excited, as well as to congratulate these students on their academic accomplishments." End quote.
There will be a live stream of the ceremonies for those who wish to watch online. You can find that at ndsu.edu/commencement. A couple of weeks ago, students gathered to have their voice heard by NDSU administration. Anna here has more on what went down at that event.
On Tuesday, April 20th, a Hear the Herd event was held in the Memorial Union. This event was a student-led Q&A session with NDSU Provost Dr. Margaret Fitzgerald and other NDSU administration. After several issues have been brought to light regarding diversity, inclusivity, and transparency, students were relieved to have their voices heard and their concerns addressed. Students and other concerned individuals stood up and walked to the front of the room to ask the provost and other faculty about what NDSU is doing to make the university a more welcoming and inclusive campus. They also asked questions about why certain issues have not been fixed. This event let participants have their voice heard and questions answered by NDSU administration.
Why isn't there a required class teaching us about racial injustice?
We tell you our problems and what's really going on behind closed doors. That some of those people who are putting those Patriot Front stickers around campus, or people who are yelling obscenities and racial slurs or sexual orientation slurs or things of that nature, we know that they're not just going to be saying it verbally anymore. They might say it physically. And it is for our own safety that we don't report half the things that even happen to us. It's only when we legitimately fear repercussions and things of that nature that we even consider coming to tell you guys what's actually going on.
Attendees expressed that they would like to see NDSU implement a higher level of accountability for students who violate NDSU policies. They also would like to see more training for NDSU faculty that educate them about racial and gender injustices and inequality. Provost Fitzgerald discussed the status of those changes.
The committee has helped to foster some changes on campus. There's still a lot of work to do, but I want to just let you know that we are trying to get some things accomplished before the end of this academic year. You've maybe noticed there are more frequent notifications to campus when something occurs that may make people feel unsafe. And we also have created a website to list all the bias incidents so that people can look at that or track what's going on. We've revised the new university strategic plan to create and maintain an open and collegial environment to promote inclusivity, respect, and diversity as a cornerstone of education, research, and service and outreach. All units on campus will be held accountable to this plan. It's a 5-year plan. It's available on the Provost's website, and there are staff who are dedicated to seeing that the features of the plan get implemented. We have mandatory anti-racism training rolling out for all incoming students starting in the fall.
Although the event allowed participants to speak with administration about their frustrations, there is still a lot of work cut out for the university to help remedy these issues.
Starting next Wednesday, a new exhibit will be at the Yumcum Center. NDSU public history students look back at the Spanish flu pandemic that took place 50 million lives in less than a year in the Red River Valley. The exhibit opens at 7 p.m. at the Moorhead Center. It is free admission to the public.
The exhibit makes use of diaries, letters, telegrams, and newspaper accounts from the era. The students wanted to show the striking similarities between the 1918 pandemic and the COVID-19 pandemic. Be sure to check it out to see what these students have been up to.
Saddle and Sirloin members hosted a petting zoo event at the Shepherd Arena. I had the chance to check it out. Here's more information on the festivities that took place.
The NDSU Saddle and Sirloin Club hosted its annual Kitty Days at the Shepherd Arena. Kitty Days is a hands-on agricultural learning experience that is entirely coordinated and presented by the members of the NDSU Saddle and Sirloin Club. The event co-chairs Tasha Pond and Madison Meyer go into detail about the event.
This year, Kitty Days is a little bit smaller, a little bit different than usual. Just because of COVID, some of the schools weren't able to actually come this year. But Kitty Days is set up as basically a petting zoo. It allows students to come get educated about livestock. A lot of kids aren't able to experience this kind of thing, so this brings the farm to them in a safer environment and just allows them to ask any questions, pet the animals. We have a beef cow, we have dairy cattle, a couple pigs, a couple goats, sheep, and some chickens as well. And a lot of the kids really enjoy just petting them. A lot of them don't even really care too much what we all talk about, but they just love the pet and the animals, so it's like a petting zoo.
We didn't have it last year because of COVID, but it has been done in the past.
For many, many years. We actually just found some stuff from 2010, so it's definitely been here for quite a while. It's just become more of a bigger event recently. I think this event has been wonderful for the kids. We've had a lot of interesting questions and a lot of very useful questions. It also helps us kind of see what the bigger community kind of sees of agriculture and kind of possibly where some of the gaps are of misunderstanding and stuff like that. This event allows children to come enjoy, plus a lot of them, this is their first field trip they've gone to do this year because of COVID, and a lot of them are just really super excited that they get to be around animals, and a lot of them will see them in picture books or on the internet, on TV, but they've never truly met them in person, and all these guys have been great candidates and they allow them to pet them and everything.
On the national news front, debris from a Chinese rocket is expected to plunge to Earth sometime today or tomorrow. Officials cannot track its location until mere hours before its re-entry. The U.S. Space Command confirmed it was aware of the rocket and will send out a warning to any facilities that could be impacted once its location is known.
The debris that this section is from is part of a rocket called Chinese Long March 5B, which launched a module of China's first permanent space station into orbit last week. One expert said it is unclear why this rocket's return to Earth is uncontrolled, as most rockets have a controlled return. The hope is that the debris will fall into the ocean, but stay alert today and tomorrow in the slight chance it falls in your area.
The COVID-19 vaccine is being dolled out at much quicker rate than anticipated. The latest findings show that over 100 million Americans are already fully vaccinated. The total reported cases have declined by 15% over the last week, and the current hospitalizations are down 5%.
If you are looking to get your vaccine but don't know where to go, you can visit vaccines.gov and put in your zip code and find locations near you. You can also specify which vaccine you would like to receive.
The London Zoo had fun with its annual weigh-in event 2 days ago. The Zoological Society of London is home to more than 19,000 animals. This weigh-in gives zookeepers a chance to make sure all of their records are up to date.
In order to get that many animals on a scale, the zookeepers had to get creative. With the giraffes, they lured them over to a giant ruler with vegetables to get them to their full height. For the penguins, they set the scale in their natural habitat and observed as the penguins naturally waddled over to stand on it.
To find the adorable photos from Thursday, just search London Zoo weigh-in and you can find them all there.
That's all we have for news today, but don't go away. When we come back, Malik Mitchell will have a Bison Sports update for you all.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
once I got on campus, it felt like home.
The NDSU bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU bookstore and show your spirit today.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
once I got on campus, it felt like home.
Hello NDSU, I have some quick Bison Sports update for you today. The baseball team had a good series against the Kansas Jayhawks last weekend. On Friday, they went into 10 innings winning 5-3. On Saturday, they lost 2-10, and on Sunday, they won 5-3. They also played Mayville State this past Tuesday and won 6-2. Infielder Bennett Hostetler won the Male Athlete of the Award for NDSU Athletics 1 day after getting his 200 career hit. They are now 15-9 in the conference. The team is currently in the series against Omaha. Last night, the Bison swept the Mavs in the doubleheader. They have a game today at 2 and tomorrow at 1. The softball team almost swept UND, winning 3 out of the 4 games this past weekend. On Saturday, they won 3-2, and later that day, they won 5-3. On Saturday, they lost 1-0, but in the last game, they won 8-0, mercy ruling UND in just 6 innings. The team is now 11-8 in the conference. They are currently in Brookings competing against SDSU. Yesterday, unfortunately, the Jackrabbits won both games against the Bison in the first game today. Be sure to check NDSU softball on Twitter for the score of the final game day. Bison football spring season didn't end how they wanted it to. Alex Dusky has more information on how it went this past weekend.
North Dakota State's spring football season has come to an end. The Bison were defeated by the Sam Houston State Bearcats 24-20 last Saturday. It was an incredible comeback by NDSU. The team was down 17-2 at one point and took the lead 20-17 in the fourth quarter. However, they just couldn't get another touchdown to secure the win.
We just needed to get one more stop. We needed 2 more downs, and unfortunately we gave up a big play that allowed them to get in the end zone and just ran out of time late.
The team now has to switch gears completely and focus on the fall season. While the FBS teams are all starting spring practices and spring games, the Bison have a few short weeks to recover before focusing on playing 2 seasons in 1 calendar year. Although no one wants their season to end with a loss, the team will use this to catapult themselves back on top this fall.
This hopefully will make us stronger. We'll have to have a great offseason, get healthy, and start looking toward fall of 21.
It's safe to say this season was abnormal in more ways than one, but it is important to note that this group of college students were able to balance school and football during their spring semester all through a global pandemic. Although it didn't end how they wanted it to, the Bison still played a great season of football. We can't forget some of the best plays this spring, like Hunter Lukey's terrific comeback in the UND game after not playing since October due to injury. He had 28 attempts for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game alone. Or what about in the home opener when the defense held the Youngstown State Penguins to 7 points and 171 total yards, where they also had 1 sack and 7 tackles for loss? And in that same game, we got to see the strength of the underclassmen in sophomore Kobe Johnson and redshirt freshman Jalen Bussey. Johnson ran for 115 yards, almost half of the team's total, and Jalen Bussey had 2 touchdowns. Even in this last game, Christian Watson had a 94-yard kickoff return, and Braylon Henderson had a 76-yard punt return, both for touchdowns. Like I said, this isn't the ending NDSU had hoped for, but there is still a lot to be proud of. However, I will say that I hope next year the Bison can play in the fall with the dome filled to capacity. It's been great being able to cover the team season this semester, and I've hoped you've enjoyed following along with me. For the Bison Information Network, I'm Alex Dusty. Have a great summer, be ready for a full season this fall, and roll herd.
Moving on to golf, the men's team competed in the Summit League Championship in Newton, Kansas last week. They ended up finishing 3rd overall in the tournament. Good job, men's golf. Way to end your season on a high note. The track and field teams are coming off a great weekend at the Rock Chalk Classic in Kansas. The men's and women's won first place in shot put. Alex Talley won the shot put, ranking 3rd in the nation this season. Freshman Michaela Hawkins broke the women's NDSU discus record by 4 feet. Next weekend, both teams will be in Vermillion, South Dakota at the Summit League Outdoor Championship Tournament. Good luck, track and field, as they prepare to end an amazing season. That's all for sports. If you want to hear more about sports, be sure to tune in to Bison Overtime on Fridays at 12:30. When we come back, Coy will give you a good look at your weekly weather and a feel-good story to end the show. Don't go away.
Technology Learning and Media Center, located in the Quinton Burdick Building, room 150C, provides a variety of services to assist you with all of your technology-related coursework and personal learning goals. The TLMC offers one-on-one tutoring and assistance in topics ranging from basic computer skills to advanced topics such as design, Adobe products, and multimedia software. A resource library that includes books on the latest software releases, online resources including a lynda.com kiosk that provide free access to high-quality video tutorials on hundreds of topics. Free workshops on a variety of topics taught each semester by our student staff. Software and hardware for audio and video capture, conversion, and editing, plus personal assistance on your multimedia projects. Multiple scanners are available at the TLMC, including one large format scanner and a slide and film scanner. The Wacom tablet provides ultimate control in your favorite graphics and illustration software and can help you to create stunning digital artwork. Large format poster printing is also done at the TLMC. Our walk-in media resources include the Whisper Room sound booth for recording professional quality voiceovers and audio. The TLMC Media Studio is available by reservation and provides equipment and space for video recording, audio recording, studio photography, screen capture, and a green screen for special effects. If you have any questions on these services, be sure to visit the TLMC website, and while you're there you can check out a variety of learning and media resources, or just stop by the next time you're in the Quinton Burdick building and check out what we have to offer.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Corey Hartle. Let's take a look at the weather coming up this week. Starting with tonight, we'll be seeing some cloud cover with a low of 33 degrees. Tomorrow, Mother's Day, will be partly cloudy with a high of 58 and a low in the low 30s. Monday, we can expect to see some sunshine, but with similar temperatures as Sunday. On Tuesday, it warms up a bit with a high of 66 and a low of 41. We'll also have a new moon, so we should be able to see plenty of stars with the dark sky. As we move into the middle of the week, the spring weather will continue with a high of 67 and a low of 42 for Wednesday. On Thursday, the temps will continue to climb as we have a high reaching 70 degrees and a low of 45. Heading into the weekend, we have a slight chance of rain on both Friday and Saturday, with highs of 75 and 73 degrees. That's all I've got for weather today, but I do have one final story today to finish out our show. Buddy the Beefalo, which is a cross between beef cattle and buffalo, was supposed to be sent to slaughter last August in Connecticut. However, as Buddy was being unloaded from the trailer at the facility, he escaped into the woods. The Plymouth Police Department began to document their efforts on Facebook to recapture the half-ton animal. Buddy quickly became a social media star as people began to root for him as he continued to evade the authorities. Ed Bonecci, the captain of the police, volunteered his time outside of work and made it his mission to catch Buddy safely. With efforts being paid for by GoFundMe page, Bonecci used thermal cameras and night vision goggles to attempt to catch the fugitive with a sting operation by setting up a small pen with food. But Buddy escaped multiple times from the trap and spent the next several months being cared for by a local farmer who always made sure that he had food. Bonecci arranged for a half-mile area to be fenced in to ensure that Buddy couldn't get too far. However, a couple weeks ago, another farmer in the area spotted Buddy with his cows, and he was able to corral him into a pen while he called the vet to tranquilize him. Nearly 250 days after his original escape, Buddy was finally taken into custody. After being examined by the vet, the police used the GoFundMe money to purchase Buddy from his original owner. Buddy was then brought down to the Critter Creek Farm Sanctuary in Florida, where he will live out the rest of his life. The police captain says that he hopes his efforts in capturing Buddy safely is what he's remembered for, and he's already made a trip to Florida to visit Buddy the Beefalo at his new home. That's all for our show today, but before we sign off, I just want to bring the rest of the crew up here real quick. We just want to thank you all so much for tuning in this semester for our show. We appreciate your viewership and as well as your support for BIN that you've showed us throughout the past semester. We also want to give a special thank you to both of our advisors, Joe Radsky and Jeff Anders, for all of their help that they've given us, and we know we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Be sure to check out BIN once again next semester, and be sure to also have a great summer. From the Bison Information Network, I'm Corey Hartle.
I'm Anna Drakeseth.
I'm Alex Dusky.
And I'm Malik Mitchell.
Have a great summer, and
Roll Herd!
Good. That was awesome. I guess I'd have a great summer. Okay. I heard you laugh when I said Buddy the Beefalo.